Alright guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for another retro recap and review in this Royal Rumble match retro recap and review series as we now venture into the 21st century as we now are on the 2000 Royal Rumble match, the 13th episode of this series as well. So we're almost halfway done and I've only been doing this again since starting last Monday as well. So I'm off to a pretty darn good start. I calculated out if I can do at least two Royal Rumbles a day over the next several days, I can most likely have this series done. Not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. I could do more. I could do three in one day. Who knows? But I've just got a lot of them done this week because I didn't do any on Friday because I was just way too busy. But again, I did a good job today, and let's do the 2000 Royal Rumble match and just finish off today pretty good with these reviews at least. I may watch 2001, but I'm definitely going to take a little bit of a break for the rest of the night. I'm going to play some Shaps 2000 and get some of those levels uploaded because I haven't done any of those since New Year's Eve, so I will want to get back on track with that as well. So let's get to 2000 Royal Rumble out of the way. The 2000 Royal Rumble showed that the WWE, well, let me see, in most of the first 12 Royal Rumbles, we had some good Rumbles. The 1992 was pretty good. I remember 94 I liked, and 98. 97, there's some that were like decent, but those were my top three so far. Probably 92, 94, and 98. Most of the other ones, you can tell they were still trying to, figure out that perfect, formula for a Royal Rumble match. There were some stars that just overshadowed all the others and didn't really develop much new stars, and not as much star power was involved either. So it was pretty much predictable, but they didn't, develop any new stars in there as well. And of course, the 1999 Royal Rumble match, again, which could have been a pretty good match, the story was just all over the place. Everything was just everywhere, and it wasn't like a smooth flow. The 2000 Royal Rumble match, though, was a smooth flow. However, with the ending of the match, it was a little bit of a goof, and it did lead to a change in the main event for WrestleMania 16 later on that year. But we'll talk about that towards the end. But other than that, this was a pretty good Royal Rumble. I enjoyed it. It's probably in the, I don't know, top 5, top 10, in my honest opinion, so far. But we'll see where it goes. So this Royal Rumble match took place on January 23rd, 2000 at Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York. And as always, the stipulation was the winner will get a championship match at WrestleMania 16. Now, at the time, the champion was Triple H, and he was supposed to be a champion. He was a champion going into WrestleMania 16. He was in the middle of a feud with Mankind. So let's get into it. There was 30 entrants as always, with a 90 seconds in between, which they stuck to that this year. The past few years, there's always been somewhere between 90 seconds and 2 minutes. Someone else will come out. So we started off with D'Lo Brown and Grandmaster Sexy at numbers 1 and 2. Followed by number 3 would be Mosh. Now, there were two smaller stables, the Kayantal, Michinoku, and Funaki, and the Mean Street Post, friends of Shane McMahon as well, who were denied spots in the Royal Rumble match. So for a couple times, for a heck of it, they came out during this match and tried to, attack people and get involved in the match. They would just be thrown out easily. Like it looked like the Singh brothers running in on a Royal Rumble match, pretty much. That's what it looked like. But it came out after Mosh came in. And again, they were quickly thrown out. Now, again, there was some new talent and big upcoming stars that were in this Royal Rumble also. Like a couple years ago, we had Rock, Mankind, Triple H, in there as well. Well, now we're getting even more bigger stars. And a certain superstar also had a good showing in this Royal Rumble that finally found the gimmick that worked for him. But we'll get to that him very shortly. But next at number 4 was Christian, when it was half the tag team champions. Well, they weren't tag team champions yet, but he was teaming with Edge also, which Edge made his Royal Rumble debut last year, and he appeared again this year and had another solid showing as well. So Edge came in at number 4, followed by I Did It for The Rock. That's right, we're on Rikishi now. Yes, we've gone through him being fat too, and the Sultan, his previous gimmicks, but he finally found a gimmick that worked, which was Rikishi. He came in, he's part of the Too Cold stable with him, Grandmaster Sexy, and Scotty Too Hottie. So he comes in, and he starts wrecking havoc. he takes out Mosh, he eliminates Christian and D'Lo Brown. So for the time being, it's just him and Grandmaster Sexay, which he eyes him up saying like I'm going to be eliminating you. But then Scotty Tuhati comes out too, and then they decided to do their act, put the shades on, and the New York crowd loved it because the New York crowd is always good. And they just did their dance, and then like right at the end of the dance, Rikishi eliminates them both, but he just makes it clear, hey guys, it was just business. Every man for himself, pretty much. So Rikishi already just eliminated the first, everyone except himself, through the first 6 entrants. Then number 7 was Steve Blackman, who was only in there for a couple seconds before Rikishi threw him out. Then number 8 was Viscera. Who was Viscera? Well, if you remember last year, the 1999 Royal Rumble, Abel was taken by the Acolytes and with Undertaker into a hearse to be initiated into the Ministry of Darkness and be then renamed Viscera. So this was him. Of course, still was not that great of a gimmick. He wouldn't not last long there as Rikishi hit him with a couple of nice super kicks and would eliminate him from the match. Now number 9 was the Big Boss Man, which I keep am surprised that he's still around. I thought he would have been gone by now. But Big Boss Man comes out after, again, he had that really horrible Hell in a Cell match the year before WrestleMania 15. But Big Boss Man comes out, and he just is reluctant to get into the ring with Rikishi. Just staggers around for about the next 90 seconds until number 10 is Test comes out, and him and Big Boss Man to fight outside the ring a little bit, throwing each other into the steel steps before finally getting themselves into the ring and Rikishi, battling off with them. Number 11 was the British Bulldog, another veteran who was heel at this point, comes in number 11. Number 12 was Gangrel, who spit blood out before entering the match. And as he entered, though, here came the Cancel again to run in again, and they're once again thrown out easily because, again, they wanted to be in this match, but nope, they weren't given the opportunity, so they were thrown out. Number 13 was Edge, making the second straight appearance in the Royal Rumble match. Number 14 was a surprise entrant, Mr. Bob Backlund, who had been gone for a while now, but he was a surprise entrant as he was very popular and well known by the New York crowd as well. So he came in as a surprise entrant in this Royal Rumble match at number 14. And then, we would have all of them, all the 6 other entrants in the Rumble: Backlund, Edge, Gangrel, Bulldog, Test, and Big Boss Man team up to all eliminate Rikishi. So he was in there for a good amount of time, had a lot of eliminations. This new gimmick was getting over really well with the crowd. He had finally found his spot and would eventually become a Hall of Famer. So a good showing here by Rikishi. And, all the other mid-card wrestlers who were in there this time have been booked very well so far. Number 15 was Mr. Y2J, the Alpha one who just wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom 12 on Thursday. I did not get to watch it yet, though, so no spoilers, please. He comes in. This is his first Royal Rumble match, as he wrestled earlier in the night against Crash Holly and a certain other person who also enters the Rumble here shortly, I'll mention, in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. But he enters this match at number 15, and he would eliminate Mr. Bob Backlund, who would then go walking through the crowd like an old man campaigning for himself. So, all right, cool. Nice to see you, Bob. Number 16 was Crash Holly. Again, the second person that Jericho was defending his Intercontinental Championship against. And number 17 was the third person. Who was that person? They appeared in the Rumble last year as well at number 30. That's right. For the second year in a row, Chyna, who had been wrestling men at the time, and she was Intercontinental Champion at one point, entered at number 17 and would go after Jericho to somewhat, continue their feud pretty much. She would then do a suplex on Jericho, eliminating him from the match, but then she wasn't looking when Big Boss Man elbowed her from behind, and she got eliminated as well. So Chyna, for the second year in a row, made a Royal Rumble appearance, as she is the only women's wrestler to appear in multiple Royal Rumble matches, but she's the first of 3 to do so. I think the other 2 were in 2010 by a recent Hall of Famer, and the other was in 2012. I don't think she's a Hall of Famer, though. But we'll get to those in sometime later this week, hopefully. Number 18 was Farouk, but then Mean Streak Post, friends of Shane O'Mac, came out, and they were the other stable that wanted to be in this Royal Rumble match, were denied entry, and they attacked Farouk, and Big Boss Man helped them eliminate him. So he was gone. Number 19 was Mr. Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better block somebody, since he likes to block people these days on Twitter. Road Dogg came in number 19. Number 20 was Al Snow. And the British Bulldog would be eliminated by the Road Dogg, so the Road Dogg won the Dog Battle Royal, if you want to put it that way. Number 21 was Val Venus. And then one of the Michinyaku had been taking a nasty bump that kept showing replay how many times throughout the night. So he wasn't there, but Funaki came out again to try to get into the Rumble, but once again he was thrown out. They were both only like 3 or 4 times, I'd say, especially. Number 22 was the Harry Prince Albert, and then Al Snow and Val Venus would team up to eliminate Edge, so he's gone, but he still had a pretty good showing. Number 23 was Hardcore Holly. Number 24 would then be The Rock, who is now a babyface after being healed the past 2 years as well. As well, he had a great match at WrestleMania 15 against Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was not in this Royal Rumble match due to injury, as he had been pretty limited at this point in his career because the neck injury he suffered at the 1997 SummerSlam pay-per-view. But The Rock came in, and he would eliminate the Big Boss Man. Number 25 was Billy Gunn, who was called in this Royal Rumble Mr. Ass. He came in at number 25, and The Rock would then eliminate Crash Holly. Number 26 was The Rock's rival, The Big Show, who was appearing in his first Royal Rumble match since he debuted in the match between, I think it was Triple H and Austin last year in a steel cage match, or something like that. He appeared at number 26, and he would eliminate Tess and Grand Grail immediately. And number 27 was Bradshaw, who was formerly Black Jack Bradshaw, who's well known today as JBL. He would come in number 27, but then the Mean Streak Post would come out again and attack Bradshaw, but Bradshaw would get into the ring after fighting him off, but that distraction caused the New Age Outlaws to eliminate Bradshaw, so his night was short-lived in the Rumble. Number 28 was Kane, his second Royal Rumble as Kane, and he would go in there and eliminate Val Venus immediately. Number 29 was The Godfather coming out with his Ho Train again, and then Kane would eliminate Prince Albert, and Funaki came out again to join the party, but Al Snow threw him right back out. Number 30 was X-Pac who came out, and then it was just elimination time from there. We had Hardcore Holly be eliminated by Snow. We had The Godfather get eliminated by The Big Show, and then Al Snow would be eliminated by The Rock. Road Dogg would then be eliminated by his own partner, Billy Gunn, but then became eliminated Billy Gunn. So the final 4 first was The Big Show, Kane, X-Pac, and The Rock, which D-Generation X was a heel stable at this time, keep in mind. Kane, though, was pulled outside by the Outlaws, and then they were beating down on him, but he wasn't eliminated yet. And then X-Pac, though, got eliminated by The Rock, but the referees didn't see it. Similar to how the referees didn't see Stone Cold Steve Austin get eliminated back in the 1997 Royal Rumble due to the brawl between Mick Foley and I can't remember who the other person was. But anyways, there was a distraction there, and X-Pac got back in the ring, and then he would get it back in there, and he would spin a heel kick to eliminate Kane. So he was eliminated. But then Big Show did officially eliminate X-Pac when the referee saw it. So it came down to The Rock and Big Show who were feuding at this time. And then the Big Show was getting the upper hand on The Rock. He was about to toss him out over his shoulder, but The Rock held on, flipped over, and the Big Show went over him, and The Rock held onto the ropes, and The Rock got the win. Now, the Big Show came back in, though, and tried to attack Rock, but The Rock got out of the way all right, and the Big Show stared down The Rock as this pay-per-view ended. Now, we do hear, though, that from evidence on the other side, as Big Show showed on Raw in the next few weeks, that The Rock's feet did, in fact, touch the ground before Big Show's did. So The Rock and Big Show did face off at No Way Out. But, again, because of the error, because originally it was supposed to be The Rock was supposed to touch with just 1 foot on the ground, kind of like how HBK did, but since he accidentally touched with 2 and it got caught on the cameras, this is what led them to decide on that fatal 4-way match, which was at first supposed to be The Rock, Triple H, Big Show, and I think Chris Jericho was supposed to be in this match, but instead they changed Chris Jericho to Foley, since Foley had not Vince McMahon felt bad that Foley had his main event of WrestleMania, which, I mean, it was still good, but it was definitely with a letdown because it should have been Triple H versus The Rock, which they would have a couple classic matches after WrestleMania at Judgment Day and Backlash that summer. So, but that happened, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the 2000 Royal Rumble match. Let's look through these times and eliminations again. No one really, overshadowed this time, so it gave like everybody, like a fair chance to develop a character and whatnot, and the storylines go forward as well. So, and eliminations did pretty much matter a lot. So let's go through the times from 1 to 30. D'Lo Brown was in there for 608, no eliminations. Grandmaster Sexy, 742, no eliminations. Mosh, 337, no eliminations. Christian, 208, no eliminations. Rikishi, I did it for The Rock. Was in there for 16 minutes and 23 seconds with 7 eliminations. Scotty 2 Hotty was there for 1:02 with no eliminations. Steve Blackman, 44 seconds, no eliminations. Viscera, 1:25 with no eliminations. Big Boss Man, 22 minutes and 47 seconds, 3 eliminations. Test, 26-17 with 1 elimination. The British Bulldog, 15-22, 1 elimination. Gangrel, 23-19, 1 elimination. Edge, 14-48 with 1 elimination. Mr. Bob Backlund, 2 minutes, 1 elimination. Crash Holly, 14-54, no eliminations. China, 37 seconds, 1 elimination. Farouk, 18 seconds, no eliminations. The Road Dogg, 1902, 2 eliminations. Al Snow, 17-17, 2 eliminations. Val Venus, 11-47, 1 elimination. Prince Albert, 11-23, no eliminations. Hardcore Holly, 11-48 with no eliminations. The Rock, 14-47, 4 eliminations. Billy Gunn, 9-38, 2 eliminations. The Big Show, 11-12, 4 eliminations. Bradshaw, 25 seconds with no eliminations. Kane, 6-11, 3 eliminations. The Godfather, 1:32 with no eliminations, and X-Pac in there for 3 minutes and 32 seconds. He had 1 elimination. So as you saw, no one really overshadowed the others, so everybody got a good amount of time there. The mid-card people were used a lot more better, so it was a little bit more of a better flow to the match, and also had some other storylines continuing on as well in the match to keep things moving forward, have a hook, and not just have a winner and then nothing else mattered pretty much. So a lot mattered in this Royal Rumble match. The total time we had for this match was 51 minutes and 54 seconds. Test was in there the longest with 26 minutes and 17 seconds. And Rikishi had the most eliminations with 7. Once again, the winner was The Rock, and the overall grade I would give for this Royal Rumble, again, it was a really solid formula they laid out there as well, gave the mid-card wrestlers a lot of time in there, had a good, victory for The Rock, who was the new hottest baby face of the company, especially since Stone Cold Steve Austin had, was out with his injury since he was limited this time in his career, but it all worked out very well. Again, despite the fact leading into a different main event of WrestleMania with a McMahon each corner, it was still it was still good for what it was. This wasn't as good as people had probably hoped for it to be. Just Rocket Triple H. But that doesn't affect this outcome of this Rumble still. It was still awesome. I give this Royal Rumble a B. A solid B for the 2000 Royal Rumble match. What are your thoughts on the Royal Rumble match of 2000? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, and be sure to always click that like and subscribe on more content that comes to this channel. Follow me on Twitter, DemandAirborne93, and as I said before, I'm going to, this is going to probably be the last review I'm going to do for tonight. If I get the 2001 one in, maybe, but I'm going to take a break and play some Shaps 2000 for a few hours, get a couple more of those levels knocked out, and I'll probably watch 2001 one before I go to bed tonight. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, if I can get at least 2 more of these done each day for the next several days, I should be able to get this series done within a week and a half. So thank you guys again for tuning in as always, and till then, have a great night.